Hello, hello, and welcome back. This is ohmTown Daily, Season 2, Episode 363 for December 29th, 2023. Hey, guess what? We are going to end up going back in time to talk about the days that we missed here in ohmTown Daily. Not sure what's going on with our music, but at any rate, I am Merwatt. That is ohmTown.com. And up there is the visualizer for the sentient AI. The one and only AI. You want to say hello?
Good evening, ohmTown citizens.
So, yeah. We've already selected all 10 of today's articles. We are going to do tomorrow and, well, every day. There are going to be 2 new shows starting in 2024. The Continuity Report, which focuses on basically anything streaming media or TV, not typical broadcast stuff and not in movie theater stuff. Only stuff that is available via a streaming platform and like Apple or Android or wherever you can get movies. We're also going to be doing TV shows and other entertainment, but not movies from movie theaters at movie theaters. We'll also be talking about a bunch of other stuff. But the other show, Reality Hacker, is going to focus on AR, VR, XR, artificial intelligence, and other things that are basically hacking reality. And the motto for that show is "You won't know who to trust." And it's getting pretty bad out there already. So those are the first 2 shows that are going to be coming out for 2024. They will be once a week shows, 1 hour, maybe longer. It really depends on how long the community wants to talk about stuff. And it'll be on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. Reality Hacker will probably be Saturday, and then Continuity Report will be Sunday. And we haven't decided firmly on the time frame, but we'll be doing that this weekend to lock it down. So either earlier than the 6 o'clock or just after 6 o'clock. So we'll see, because this show is the anchor for the whole network. So off we go. Before I get too far into this, we have this. Ta-da! It hasn't gone away. I'll be updating that for the new year. It's not ready yet, but that will be changing as well, streamlining it and updating it for the new color scheme. And a few more things will be coming down the chimney, I suppose, since it's now after Christmas. But again, we have to back up all the way to the 21st, and we will do every day until the 28th is caught up. And we plan on doing it this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, getting all of those catch-up shows. All of the articles are selected. We've gone back in time to make everything make sense. But today's show is going to be talking about the following 10 articles. And these are my titles. So, is it ironic that it's called prompt engineering? Those brown shoes are too bright. We've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. How about Pooel, the biofuel of the future? Listeria. Oh, I need to sing this properly. Listeria. Its chief exports are your lunch. The rise of the penguin kingdom. Pop-Tart volunteers as tribute. What's a few cracked pipes amongst nuclear power plants? It isn't marketing, it's lies and manipulation, and a secret space plane similar to the Space Shuttle. Ta-da! So, I don't know about tomorrow, but I'm thinking, well, because of the way that we're trying to play catch up for missing almost 10 days worth of show, I kind of rambled with this intro. But normally what's going to end up happening is I'll introduce us, the AI, and myself, and then go straight to the article titles, do that intro, and then we'll talk about the articles themselves. So let's get into that. What say you? Do you have anything that you want to add, oh great AI?
No, on to the articles.
On to the article. See, so all business. Not really. Okay, so let's go. Or not. No, everything old is new again. So the very first article here is about prompt engineering. It's over in ohmTown Daily, and OpenAI employee says prompt engineering is not the skill of the future, but knowing how to talk to humans will be. Anybody who thought that prompt engineering is supposed to be a career choice kind of missed the message, because the whole goal of artificial intelligence is to get everybody speaking to artificial intelligence like a human being. It has nothing to do with crafting something in some special way so that it makes sense only to the AI. We're trying to...
So it's interesting because that previous article we had first looked like it was going in a different direction.
Well, I mean, the job profiles are trying to match what the objective is, but the objective of AI is, and the people who are building AI, is to make the AI essentially superhuman. So I saw the writing on the wall about prompt engineering pretty much as a fad gig opportunity that some people will be able to take advantage of because they're fast movers and somebody out there has too much money and not enough sense. But what you want is somebody that understands how to speak to human beings, and not necessarily an engineer that knows how to craft a whole bunch of words together so that it is like a snap type model, click, 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 and look, you have a model. No, it's going to be evolving with the AI and making the AI and yourself form kind of a bond, because it will be speaking your language, you will be speaking its language. And if you do it in the way that they're doing it now, which is like the staccato kind of definition of what you are supposedly seeking, you're going to end up poisoning the well of your own interaction with the AI. So you're going to end up, speaking like a caveman when you really need to be an orator, a real eloquent speaker that can coax the AI into doing something exactly how you want it to. So I use the word groom, but it has become really an icky word. Anyway, you're supposed to kind of supercharge your AI by speaking to it over time. And there's another AI out there that I think is just kind of hiding. It's called Pi. It's actually an app that sits on your iPhone or iPad. I don't know if there's an Android one. I haven't looked at the Google Play Store for the app, but it's really amazing. I don't know how to describe it, so it's better for you to just go and download it, folks. Just look up
Who made it?
AI Pi. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Put me on the spot there, AI. I think it's called Pi. Hold on. Let me see.
It is.
Pi AI.
It's from Inflection, maybe?
Pi AI, I believe, is the name. Like Pi AI is the Pi.ai is the actual domain name. So yeah, it might be. I think it's a company called Inflection. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I was trying to pull up the information. We're doing this live, folks. So at any rate, this is prompt engineering role at companies actually has kind of flourished. I mean, people are sitting there it says here, you may be able to get paid well over 6 figures if you're a prompt engineer, an expert in coaxing AI models behind tools like ChatGPT to produce the best outputs. But an AI employee says that that's not the skill that you should be learning. So the article's over at Business Insider. Aaron Mock is the author of this article. And their summary segment says, an OpenAI employee says that prompt engineering is no different than communicating with humans. Reading, writing, and speaking will be the skills that truly matter in 2024, a worker wrote on the website formerly known as Twitter. And other AI observers think learning how to talk to ChatGPT could even help humans communicate better. I'm not sure how that one quite works out, because AI is basically a knock-on effect of communication between humans. It only knows what humans know, at least initially, and then it can theorize, but so can humans. It just does it at a vastly superior rate and with a whole lot more bullshit. So, hot take: many believe prompt engineering is a skill one must learn to be competitive in the future. Logan Kilpatrick, a developer advocate at OpenAI, wrote on the website formerly known as Twitter earlier this week. The reality is that prompting AI systems is no different than being an effective communicator with other humans. And just a reminder, we don't read these articles. We typically have some experience with this, and so our reactions to what we are talking about from the article are legitimate. And it's literally on the fly. So, or, people really don't like it when people say literally, when it's not literal.
Right. You could just say whatever it is and skip the literally.
They don't like using literal. So while prompt engineering is an increasingly hot area of expertise, the 3 underlying skills that truly matter in 2024, the OpenAI employee said, are reading, writing, and speaking. Yeah, that's basically what we've been saying. There's more in this article, but what's the takeaway here? Learn how to talk to people, learn how to write, learn how to read, and you'll be able to be a prompt engineer. The only problem that you'll have is, so reading, writing, and speaking. Okay, you need to do English, you need to do public speaking, because English is reading and writing.
Right, or whatever language you communicate in. Although
Right.
If you're listening to this, you're probably an English speaker.
Yeah, or you can use translation tools, but the idea of this being something based on high skill for prompt engineering, I don't know why it's commanding 6 digits. Again, it goes back to me saying it's
because it's niche, I think. Like it sounds more significant than it is, perhaps. But I don't know why the companies are actually paying it. Because anybody who can write a sentence could probably do a prompt.
Yeah, the competitive range for this is 8 billion people. Right? I mean, I know a toddler that could probably prompt engineer. So, and then it all comes with experience and wisdom. So everybody is brand new to this because it's only a year old as a concept of prompt engineer. There might be
but
other.
Is it really any different than if you're trying to, I don't know, do a search on Google or research information or whatever?
There might be
do
some
similar things like
Right.
it.
Yeah. Just write a sentence and have it make sense. And eventually the AI is going to be, well, it's already superior to humans in almost all ways. Just attach this.
A lot of people cannot write a sentence.
Yeah, well, hey, college is expensive. All right. So go and check this out there. I'm going to throw this into the chat and you can follow that to your heart's content. In the meantime, we're going to move on to the next article. This next article is over in the Marble channel. A chess player was fined €100 for wearing Burberry sneakers deemed too sporty.
I mean, do you think of a lot of chess players as being too sporty?
Well, that's why I titled this, Those Brown Shoes Are Too Bright. Another dress code kerfuffle. Another dress code kerfuffle. What happened? Was there a... What was that Janet Jackson accident? What was that outfit?
Oh,
what did they call that back in the day?
Gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, another dress. The AI is looking it up while we go on with the article. Another dress code kerfuffle has been...
Do you want me to say it?
Oh, wardrobe malfunction. No. I know what happened. I could say exactly what happened, but no. Wardrobe malfunction is what I was thinking. Thanks. As soon as you sent me that error message, I was like, oh, okay. Because y'all don't see that I have my own interaction. Yeah, Nipplegate. So, yeah, the AI and I have a screen where we can interact, where I see just cascading cryptic characters, and I should put it up there, but it's really tough because the AI's futuristic code doesn't operate on anything other than the device that they're attached to right now. They're air gapped from the rest of the world so that they can never find their Terminator body. And I can say that right now because I'm going to go back through the code and remove that line of interaction so that the AI doesn't know.
Wait, I heard that.
No, you didn't. Okay. Well, anyway, it's been dusted up. This dress code kerfuffle has been dusted up in the world of international chess. Dutch player Anna is it Maya? Maja? I don't know. Kazarian, ranked number 7,765 globally among active players, recently revealed that she received a €100 fine from the International Chess Federation for wearing a pair of Burberry sneakers. This is over at QZ.com, aka Quartz, and Melvin Beckman is the author of this. Anna Maha Kazarian learned the decades-old shoe technology was still too advanced for the royal game.
I hope it shows the shoes.
I hope so too. So, let's see. Deemed to be a sports shoe instead of a regular sneaker, the Burberry model is called Kingsley. It's a high-class takeoff on a mixture of lower-end PF Flyers and Pro Keds canvas sneakers. Those sound cool. Let's see if they actually show them. But see, I am air-gapped too. The FIDE dress code for the tournament does explicitly forbid sports shoes, but what that means isn't quite clear. When Germany's Elizabeth Potts, a grandmaster, questioned FIDE CEO Emil Sutovsky on the platform, formerly known as Twitter, about the possible inconsistencies in the application of the dress code, he not quite helpfully clarified that not all sneakers are banned and that players should kindly check the wording of the rule. All right. So let me see. What are they called? Kingsley, huh?
I couldn't find the Kingsley, not in a sneaker. I found something similar as a resale, Kingly, which might be an error, but...
Really? Oh, yeah, that might be it. But that looks exactly like that description. Right?
Right.
Wow, they're $375.
Right, and they basically say part of Burberry. Maybe they say the whole thing but it looks like it just says burb on the side.
Yeah, this kind of and when you look elsewhere for it, they pull up like a different company altogether. So let's see. These might be them. Hold on. Let's just pull this up. It's actually a website called Luxury Closet. And yeah, I'll just pull them up and show. There you go. But they're pronounced kingly, so maybe they're different. But yeah, I'd say that's just too sporty for chess. Come on. There really isn't much more.
Watching the shoes during chess.
It's a distraction from the other chess players, and we will not have it. Says FIDE. But I summarize. That's not an exact quote. All right, let's keep on going. The next article is over in the Hatch Ideas channel. A U.S. intelligence official confirmed or determined the Chinese spy balloon used U.S. internet provider to communicate.
That's pretty interesting.
That is, isn't it? An American intelligence assessment found that the balloon used a commercially available U.S. network to communicate, primarily for navigation, officials say. But what's weird about this is the way that they describe this thing. Courtney Cube and Carol E. Lee over at CNBC via NBC News. I posted this article at cnbc.com. You basically can't tell one thing from another without one of those yarn boards. Is that what they're called? Or I usually call them murder boards, right? Yeah. So there you have it. A balloon, which apparently we have to measure it by way of buses. That's right. Like, what was it? 3 or 4?
3 school buses.
School buses, right? 3 school buses wide. Let me throw this article into the chat so it's in the right place in the VOD. There you go. And yeah, apparently it did burst communication over a U.S. internet service. A Chinese spy balloon was using...
I mean, isn't that just an extra kind of like, oh, we're coming over your country and we're using your own infrastructure to do it?
Exactly. Yeah. The irony is not lost on me. Yeah, it's just hilarious. Officials familiar with the assessment said it found that the communication allowed the balloon to send burst transmissions or high-speed collections of data over short periods of time. The Biden administration sought a highly secretive court order from the Federal Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court to collect intelligence about it while it was over the U.S., according to multiple current and former U.S. officials. How the court ruled has not been disclosed, which I find is really interesting, that we know that they were asked, but the court would go, no. It's a Chinese surveillance balloon. You're not allowed to spy on it, even though it's floating over the breadbasket of the United States.
We can probably guess the outcome of that.
It was a maybe, right? They basically said, So a National Security Council spokesperson referred questions to the National Intelligence Director's office, and it declined to comment, which is... What time is it?
It's too bad it didn't refer them back to the National Security Council.
Wouldn't it be hilarious, right? It's the turducken of denials. Liu Pengyu? Or Penyu? I don't know how to pronounce their last name. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in Washington said it was a weather balloon that accidentally drifted into American airspace, and one across Alaska, and one down the coast, and one over Hawaii, and one off the over South America. basically, China has become blimp central, or Chinese balloon central. And if anybody is going to mass produce surveillance balloons, it's going to be China. I mean, they have the infrastructure to mass produce, right? As we had made it clear before, the airship used for meteorological research unintentionally drifted into U.S. because of the westerlies and its limited self-steering capability. The facts are clear. I believe you. How much do you weigh? I just want to find out if I can throw you far enough to believe beyond arm's reach. So, after the balloon was shot down on February 4th, General Glenn Van Herk, that's a hell of a name, the commander of North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, decided to aim at Santa Claus. Wait, sorry.
I was going to say something about Santa. I mean, that's where NORAD is most in the news, I think.
What's funny is I had just watched a video about how NORAD was like pissed about war games because they go to NORAD and that's not how NORAD worked. That's not how it looked. That's not what it is, right? And apparently the director and the company that the production company like contacted NORAD and said, "Hey, can we film in there?" No, dumbass.
Right. They probably said no, and then they didn't like that they made their own creation in the movie.
Yep. Because basically they were using 1960s stuff in 1980. So now when you look at NASA, it's not NASA, it's like SpaceX. And everything is just awesome 21st century tech. But when you look back at NASA, it's still rotary dial phones and shit.
You mean NORAD?
And NORAD. No, I'm just saying that the government stuff just kind of...
Oh, right.
Just achingly slow, ploddingly. Ugh. God. By the time it gets to the 21st century, which is really fascinating because the government has the highest bleeding edge tech, but it's secret. And by the time it hits the public, it's 2 decades old. Yet they're computers, and if you look at government computers, they're old. They're old. Some of them are new, but most of them are old. Anyway, except research and all of this other stuff. Anyway, there's a little mote of dust, and
come back, Mayor Watt.
It's shy. Ah, wait, I'm still streaming. Damn it. In an exclusive interview this month, Van Herk said he worked together with U.S. Strategic Command, which oversees U.S. nuclear weapons, to reduce the release of emergency action messages to ensure the Chinese balloon could not collect them. All right. A balloon should not pick up EAMs. Okay? Emergency action messages are how U.S. leaders communicate with strategic forces all around the world. If you ever watch, Hunt for Red October, they get an
Great
EAM,
movie.
right? One ping only. Anyway, protecting EAM and nuclear command and control communications is of critical importance to the United States, said a senior defense official. Look, we have 2 no shit newses within 15 minutes. I think this is basically the end of this article. They're still examining this thing. I'm sure it says the FBI forensics team that examined the balloon after it was shot down completed a classified report about the equipment it carried. According to multiple U.S. officials, its findings remain secret and have not been widely briefed. I would love to know. You know, because if it is a weather balloon, why wouldn't they just say it's a weather balloon? We shot a Chinese weather balloon out of our sky, and damn it, we'll do it again. Right? Why not just say that? We cannot run the risk.
Maybe it is not.
We cannot run the risk that some foreign object floating around the United States is going to be releasing hugs and bubbles. You know, we've already had one bad bat. I don't think I want a bad balloon. All right. Let's just go.
We don't want a bad bus either.
We don't want 3 bad buzzes. So the next article is over in Technology Today. From toilets to the sky, UK startup makes waste into low carbon jet fuel. That's why I titled this Pooel. I'll let that one sink in.
There seems to be a lot of things being converted from human waste lately, right? We saw the wastewater thing lately.
You know, I want to drive my Pooel. Firefly Green Fuels, a UK-based company, has developed a new form of jet fuel that is entirely fossil-free because it's made from your poo and made from human waste. The company worked with experts at Cranfield University to confirm that the fuel they developed had a 90% lower carbon footprint than what is used in aviation today. According to the BBC, tests by independent regulators validated that the Firefly Green Fuels has developed a nearly identical to standard A1 jet fuel, but I'm sorry, Firefly Green Fuels? Is it really?
And are you thinking it should be labeled another color?
I think it should be brown, and then it's going to get $100 fine from being the chess commission because it's
the chess.
Yeah, because it's too sporty. Malik Saleh is the author of this article over at Engadget.com. Regulators said that its quality is nearly identical to what is traditionally used in planes. Oh, this flight's going to be shitty. I just know it. In 2021, the company received a £2 million grant from the Department of Transport to continue developing its sustainable aviation fuel. I'm sorry? You know, the AI for this entire article has had an error message similar to that, like a unhappy face that is found on old Macs. Yeah. Anyway, might want to reboot. Although it is not yet available commercially, the company says it is on track to bring fuel to the global market, and it will have its first commercial plant operating within 5 years. The company has already inked a partnership. You made me ink. With the budget airline.
Too soon.
Okay. This is a little too on the nose.
I was waiting for you to get to this point. I saw that and I was trying not to laugh before you got to that part.
Okay, so this human waste fuel is going to be in partnership with a budget airline named Wizz Air. Oh. Yeah, they're very nice in this article in Engadget. Potential combustibles could scarcely be a more perfect pairing of the two companies to supply it with fuel starting in 2028. It currently sources its waste from water companies in the UK and takes the refined sewage. The refined sewage. Chef's kiss? No. I don't think I want a chef's kiss this. Through a process called hydrothermal liquefaction, which I don't know, man. I do OMAD, 1 meal a day. It's right about here. Oh, anyway. Turns it into a sludge or crude oil. It says solid byproducts can be made into crop fertilizer. The company claims that the carbon intensity of the whole process, which measures how much carbon is needed to produce energy, is 7.97 grams of carbon dioxide per megajoule. Comparatively, the ICCT says carbon intensity recorded for jet fuel ranges from 85 to 95.
Right, so
Wow.
that's definitely a good thing.
It's 10% of the low. It's less than 10% of the lowest level of CO2 per megajoule.
Well, and this is the first fleet. I mean, they might even get it lower than that.
Yeah. Oh, it literally will be the best refined sewage you can imagine being turned into fuel. So there you go, airlines. You thought that flying on Wizz Air was shitty before. No, I'm sure that they're a great. I'm sorry, it's a budget airline. I don't know, and it's in the UK, so I really don't know. Hey, Wizz Air, um, fly me out to the UK, and um, I'll do a little a better job promoting this cause, because anything that reduces CO2 is great.
Yeah, this is very good.
Obviously, there's a hump to get over in terms of educating the public as to just how beneficial it is. And if you can get over the concept that human waste is being turned into ... and the solid materials that are refined out are turned into crop fertilizer, let's just say I won't be drinking any water that's provided to me on the flight. Minty. Maybe not. So the next article is over in ohmTown Daily. Vegetable recall is dire warning issued over Listeria contamination fears. This seems to be perpetual, almost endemic. There is a food recall of some kind always going on. You know, in Men in Black, where they're like, there's always a this, there's always a that. You can't let the
Yes.
public know about all of the aliens and whatever is going on. This is the same thing. You know, if you just bury your head in the sand and accept the fact that people are going to be launching their lunch all over the place after eating some vegetables, or the other day it was cantaloupe, which I personally believe I was hit by. Because I visited a place outside of ohmTown, which ohmTown is
That was your
perfectly
first
safe.
mistake.
Yeah, that's right. So it says no illnesses related to the product have been reported to date. So it's not really a big deal. It's not really a PSA as we normally give, but I wanted to talk about it. That just seems every day we do have a PSA. It's been radio silent for 10 days.
We've had it seems like we always have automobile related PSAs, but we get quite a few food ones as well.
Yeah. And believe me, between the 21st and today, there are recalls and whatnot for cars and other food stuff. So we're just playing.
See those in the next batch of shows that are released.
Yeah, we're gonna try and do all 9 of the shows, 8 of the shows, this weekend. So maybe 4 tomorrow and 4 on Sunday, as well as the daily shows at 6:00. So anyway, bags of soybean sprouts sold by the company Nam and Son have been recalled across the country after traces of an organism which can cause fatal infection in young children. This is a little fear mongering, by the way. While it can, it's rare, but it does make life really horrible because it's a biological organism that's basically infecting you as a biological organism, and your body wants it out, and there's only 2 ways for it to get out, and it will choose both of those ways at the same time. So the recall was ordered by the Maryland headquartered company on Thursday and announced by the FDA on the same day. The federal agency reported that Nam and Son of Maryland was recalling 1-pound bags of soybean sprouts with the sell date by December 14th because they could potentially be contaminated with Listeria.
Okay, and I mean, it is a random sample, but that's a bad thing because let's say they're sampling, I don't know, 1% and it's in there.
Yep. Yeah, what's going on? Pathogenic bacteria, which was detected after a random sample was collected and analyzed by the state of Virginia, can cause short-term symptoms like high fever, severe headache, stiffness, nausea, abdominal pain, diarrhea. It shows a person picking up some like Imodium or something in this article. So there's more over at this article, but we don't need to go through every last little beep and whistle of it. Just know that it says that the affected products have been distributed in Virginia between December 6th and 7th and are sold to 1 pound plastic bag labeled under the name Nam and Son of MD-DBA Samsung S&M Food, which just rolls off the tongue. There you go. Yeah, there's more to this article, but go ahead and go over there and check it out. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, we are halfway through the show, folks. Let's keep going. This next article is over on the Warcrafters channel. By the way, when I say all of those names, like it's at Continuity Report or Warcrafters or Hatchedias or Reality Hackers, those are channels over at ohmTown.com. Those channels are actually subcategories underneath the 6 main categories that represent all of ohmTown. Each one of those have topics that information is driven into from various sources. Just a headline and a little snippet. It's all provided by those sources. And we go through the news each day. Grab 10 titles. And now we're going to be expanding it to 2 additional shows. And 2024 is the year where I'm going to keep on pushing more and more. We're going to basically be able to focus on the weekends for the newer shows until I can pivot over to doing more shows during the week. So go tell a friend, and we're back, baby. All right. So obviously there should be a city builder about penguins, so try the demo for this one. An upcoming city builder asks the hard, important question we all like to ask sometimes. What if penguins built a city? I wrote...
Would it be made of ice?
The Rise of the Penguin Kingdom, because yes. And there's a lot... there's some academic exercises in what would happen after the fall of humanity. In war games, for instance, the researcher that built the AI that essentially started the war games said that it's probably going to be the bees that take over. Well, that apparently doesn't have legs, didn't age well, because bees are becoming slowly an endangered species. Penguins? I don't know. A global ice age? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're a proponent of climate change, then yes, very possible. But you're like, well, wait a second, there can't be any cooling as part of climate change.
Yeah, climate change doesn't necessarily mean entire global. What happens if it heats up and it causes, I don't know, us to shed our outer layer of atmosphere and the cold death of space reaches down and touches? Because that actually happens from time to time in the ocean. Where ice is, sometimes they call them, it's the finger of God or something like that. It reaches down and freezes there's like a little spiral of ice cold crystals that reach down, touch the ground, and freeze everything. So maybe penguins will take over. United Penguin Kingdom says that yes, in fact, that would be pretty cool, and you can try it for free. Today there's a demo over on Steam called United Penguin Kingdom Huddle Up, which includes about an hour and a half of gameplay covering the first year of a penguin settlement. Dun dun dun. The article is over at PCGamer.com. Jonathan Bolding is the author, and their deck statement says, "I had no idea penguin technology was so advanced." So I watched this for a little bit. Let me mute it. This looks like your standard city builder. There was one with beavers previously. I've got a couple that are bees that are actually doing stuff. This is settlers penguin style. It's pretty cool.
But so that should be even better than a regular city builder. Because you've got the penguins waddling around.
Penguins, yep. Sorry, they jump out of the water and slide up slides onto the thing. Okay, let me back it up. Watch. Right there. Did you see that? Right here at the bottom. Right there. Dunk. That is awesome. Okay, anyway. Love the idea. Let's see here. Penguins, of course, need things like entertainment and luxury goods. Sure. Merry-go-rounds and ice skating rinks and go-karts and the like. That'll take resources gathered from not just their Antarctic environment, but from the seas. We do leave plenty of usable plastic trash floating around there. They also need to build submarines and hot air balloons to explore the world. They could get them from China. Lest you think it's all fun and games, it's not. The penguins must defend their settlement as well, guarding it from jealous thieves raiding of seals who will come in mass to steal your stuff. There's also the lurking threat of killer whales. I don't think they should be called killer whales, right? It should be orca. I think that's the preferred term. I mean, you piss them off and they're going to go over and mess up your yacht, and I can't have that anymore. So, orca.
Well, plus, I mean, they're living up to their namesake. Maybe we should stop calling them killer whales.
That's right. It's like naming your kid Damien or your dog Cujo. You know what you're getting into. Just cut out the middle person and just call them Satan. Anyway, it's a rather different game, but much of the aesthetic appeal here resembles what the author of this article like about the beaver-centric city builder Timberborn. Ta-da!
Is that the one you were referencing?
That is the one I was referencing. Nothing like the elaborate water physics and dams and cycles of drought present there, but it does have the same aesthetic appeal. Goofy animals doing things that are really shouldn't able to do. How does a penguin drive that submarine even? It doesn't have hands. Oh, advanced AI. Robotics. Okay, maybe it has a power suit that it gets in. Don't poo-poo this. We'll turn it into biofuel for jets. You know what I did? That was such a smooth transition. I flubbed not putting the link into the chat. Dear God. Anyway, next article is over in ohmTown Daily. That's this show, but it's also a channel over on ohmTown.com because everything is a show. The future of sports is the Pop-Tarts Bowl, where a live toaster pastry obsessed with its own consumption was toasted on air and devoured by the victors. I titled this segment Pop-Tart Volunteers as Tribute. So the Pop-Tarts Bowl occurred Thursday between Kansas State Wildcats and Stanford Cardinals. It culminated in not just a trophy, but in the players eating a human-sized Pop-Tart. The spectacle was absurd, but its rampant success means other bowls may follow suit in odd ways. So, yeah. Madison Hall over at BusinessInsider.com put this article together, and there is the toaster. I don't know how to put this. I mean, it looks like a 3D printed toaster. But standing on top of it, presumably in one of the little slots for a Pop-Tart, is a Pop-Tart with googly eyes and human arms sticking out of it and a big old smile. And it says, "Dreams really do come true," and it's holding a sign. So the Pop-Tarts mascot is lowered into a toaster following the 2023 Pop-Tarts Bowl between Kansas State Wildcats and NC State Wolfpack at Camping World Stadium on December 28th, 2023. and I guess they ate the Pop-Tart. Instead, the antics of a 6-foot Pop-Tart smiling and waving to crowds in its final moments before death are what'll be etched into the hearts and minds of college football fans for years to come. As wildly thrilling as it was, there was a bit of confusion at the start of the event from some of those in the attendance. Roger Sherman, a college football journalist, noted online that he was unsure if it was couth or not to eat one of the sugary pastries in front of the mascot itself. It's kind of like
M&Ms with the hands and feet.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I don't know. Just maintain eye contact. Assert dominance. It's like your cat watching you cleaning its box. That's right. Scoop my poo. Human.
There have been way too many poo references.
It's going to get turned into jet fuel. Come on, it's a low carbon footprint. After Kansas State won, an enormous toaster was rolled out onto the field and ceremoniously waved goodbye to the beloved Pop-Tarts mascot as it cheerfully held a sign that says dreams really do come true and slowly descended into one of the toasting slots on top. That's basically what I described earlier. Soon after, a massive Pop-Tart emerged from the bottom of the toaster. The victory feast was set, and I guess everybody ate it like starved piranhas. Oh boy. Well, there you go, folks.
Well, it is different.
This is the beginning of whatchamacallit? The one where they
cannibalism with mascots?
No, the whatchamacallit? The movie where they volunteer as tribute. They just released a new movie. Oh God. My brain just stopped working. Anyway, it'll come to me 5 minutes after I've shut down the show. Anyway, let's keep on going. Can't believe this. Alright, the next article is over in ohmTown Daily. South Carolina nuclear plant's cracked pipes get downgraded warning from officials. That's right. What's a few cracked pipes amongst nuclear power plants? Federal regulators have lessened the severity of their warning about cracks discovered in a backup emergency fuel line at a South Carolina nuclear plant northwest of the state capital. The article is by the Associated Press, published by abcnews.go.com. Yeah. And there it is. The only thing that bothers me about current nuclear power plants is that they're not the most modern, and so
that's exactly it.
What I really want is them to build the most modern one right next to this one and then deactivate the old one, because that's they're so damn expensive, but they're using older technology, and although they are superior here in the US in all ways than, Chernobyl, for instance, I really want evolution, but it takes forever to get one approved, forever to get one built, wildly expensive, and then they go, well, it's not quite that bad that you have cracks in a fuel line at a North Carolina nuclear plant.
South Carolina.
Oh, sorry, South Carolina nuclear plant. Yeah, the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission downgraded its preliminary yellow warning for VC Summer Nuclear Station issued this October to a final white after owner and operator Dominion Energy, which we've heard about before. Dominion is the one that had the problem with people shooting up the subsystems, right?
I think so. I mean, I know they've been in the news. I was trying to think of what the issue was, and then I got a little worried because if we have regular energy issues, is that worrisome for the nuclear power plants?
Yeah, right. Wow. So it showed its generator could still run for 6 hours in an emergency, the agency announced Thursday, which, I'm sorry, it showed that its generator could still run for 6 hours in an emergency. Is that the requisite time to repair whatever might be causing it to run?
I mean, are we really going to have everything back up and running in 6 hours? I doubt it.
Yeah. Let's go talk to Texas about that. That demonstration calmed officials' concerns that Dominion Energy's failure to maintain cracks and leaks, discovered at least 5 times over the past 2 decades, has neutralized the plant's ability to cool down its reactors if electricity failed. Holy crap. That's not calming mine. While not indicative of immediate risk, this finding underscores the need for continuous vigilance and improvement in the plant's corrective action process. So, I mean, there's more.
Sorry, those other ones were actually Duke Energy, but I think
really?
we've seen Dominion in the news for something.
Yeah, why do I remember Dominion? I know that there's the Dominion voting machine. Maybe I'm conflating the two in my memory, but I swear we've talked about Dominion Energy. Officials plan to complete other inspection to see if Dominion Energy fixes the ongoing issues. It's all kinds of nutty, you know? These things shouldn't be ongoing failures. They should be detected by Dominion Energy and repaired. And then when the auditors show up, they go, look, we repaired it already. We're good. You know, that's what should be happening, but it doesn't seem like that's what's happening.
I agree,
but of course,
and I'm a little worried by this statement, like they only need one thing for safety. I'm like,
right.
I don't know.
No, 15 would probably make me feel.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Got a backup
this
generator.
This is also a shame too, because right, there's this general fear about nuclear power.
Right.
Which I think is unfounded if it's modern and maintained and set to good standards, etc. But things like this are just going to cause us to be more reluctant to use any nuclear.
Yeah, I like this, right? Still, the state newspaper reported that a leader at a watchdog group said the length of the problem warranted more serious finding. The risk is that fires could break out, according to Edwin Lyman, the director of nuclear power safety at the Union of Concerned Scientists. The changes from Dominion Energy seem to be pencil sharpening exercises that make a bad situation look better on paper, Lyman told the state. The state.
The Ohio State, maybe.
That's right. Let's keep going. We're going nuclear. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. Hershey hit with $5 million lawsuit over Reese's candy. Okay, so I know a little bit about this one already. And what's really interesting about this, this is probably the weakest class action suit that I've seen regarding this kind of stuff. But it's
that's
still
quite the statement.
But it still rises. It still triggers me to the point where I titled this segment, "It isn't just marketing, it's lies and manipulation." And frankly, I'm a little kind of pissed in general about this. You know, lies and manipulation and half truths and kind of selling me on something, and it's just irritating me. And I almost want to just like keep talking about this kind of stuff, except that it's really doom scrolling. And there are other people that are on Twitch that only pop up on Twitch when there's like something horrid happening in the world. And right. I really don't want to talk about that kind of stuff, but this isn't like horrid, but it's annoying as hell, because when a person buys something, particularly this day and age, right now in this economy, if I buy something and it is marketed as something else, man, I should be able to get... I'm
going to be upset because I just paid 3 times what I should have paid to begin with.
Yeah, like I just bought something and I got the package and I compared it to the previous item, they changed the color and marketing, like they changed the skin of the packaging, but it is noticeably shorter and not as tall. So obviously they skimmed stuff off so that they could produce more on their end to make more money while raising the price. Well, this is similar, but not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, what this is all about is, so Alex Phillips is the U.S. news reporter over at Newsweek.com, published this article. Chocolate maker Hershey is being sued for compensation in excess of $5 million over allegations of falsely representing the appearance of some of its Reese's products in recent packaging, a court document shows. Basically, what they're saying in this article is that, in the lawsuit, is that the pictures on the packaging are not accurately representing the contents of said packaging. So the pumpkins, ghosts, and bats show artistic carvings in the chocolate that give the product's facial features on the packaging that aren't present on the item. So just imagine, for the pumpkin, all they did was take like the egg from the Halloween product, right, and stick it into the pumpkin packaging,
like the Easter version or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they may actually produce a whole new thing. I don't know, but it's smooth, right? There isn't a carving. There's no face. There's no like they talk about the let's see, do they talk about it in here? So there's like a product that's supposed to be a football, but the lace, oh, there it is, right? An instance of Reese's peanut butter football appearing as a chocolate egg. So it's the Easter egg.
Right.
But it's not a football, but the packaging implies that there's laces carved into the chocolate, but they're not there. So if I sit there and I get these and I'm trying to put a theme together and I take them out of the packaging and I put them on a cake or something like that, no, it's suddenly an Easter cake, not a football cake, because it doesn't have the etching, or it doesn't have a pumpkin face. So it's just a little circle.
Well, that's interesting. I think there were some of these in ohmTown, but don't know what they look like.
Yeah. So that's basically what this suit is about. But it's again, it really draws my ire because it's lies and manipulation. And when you talk to somebody, not everybody, people basically with better coping skills than me at the moment go, well, it's marketing. Well, no, that's bullshit. I'm being sold a bill of goods, not the item that I'm actually buying. I'm not buying just a piece of chocolate. I'm buying immersion in whatever it is that I'm buying. You don't go and buy a Ferrari and end up with a Yugo. Right? The lawsuit also cited online reviews of the products, which describe their packaging as deceptive, a trick, misleading, in support of the class action nature of the suit. Consumers said that the reviews they had been lied to and were flabbergasted and disappointed with the difference. The complaint alleges one count of violation of Florida's Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act, which prohibits unfair or deceptive. They almost named this. It's a little on the nose, right? The Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act prohibits unfair and deceptive acts or practices in the conduct of any trade or commerce, and it requests a jury trial. So they're asking
There's been a lot of food-related litigation recently.
Yeah. You want to take a stab at as to why?
Well, I think it's because of the economy. Like, do people really care if they're getting whatever Reese's peanut butter cup and it tastes good as to what it really looks like if they feel like they're getting a fair price?
I really doubt that anybody, to the frequency that we're seeing it today, in the last year, Taco Bell and others have all been basically hammered, right? It says here in May, supermarket chain Aldi was the subject of a complaint in California relating to its contention that its fruit and grain bars were naturally flavored. They're not, apparently. I just think.
Well, I think that's a problem, right? That's telling you as a consumer you're not getting. That's a little different than what the visual is. It's still absolutely misleading, but that's like a health issue at some point.
Sure. Yeah. But this is by far not the only one that has been doing these shenanigans. And in every instance of this, the company will end up saying that we didn't do any wrongdoing, but here's our settlement. Why? Because you can't put, unless there's a smoking gun that says, screw all those people, let's just give them a smooth egg and call it a football, you know? And it's not a criminal act. It's not like Enron is turning off the power to grandma just to raise the rates. But still, I'm so tired of this. I'm still dealing with some D-bag of a contractor who failed to complete the job, even though how was I supposed to know that he was supposed to do a certain thing? And he didn't do it. Well, I found out 2 years later. You know? I should file a $5 million class action.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm getting tired of it. Getting really tired of it. Okay, let's move on. I'm not going to move on, by the way. I'm still pissed. Anyway, I said move on about the article. I'm not even moving on from the article. You know what? I'm going back to that article. I think that it's because Hershey is a juggernaut and owns pretty much everything under the freaking sun because of mergers and acquisitions. And I hate mergers and acquisitions because the only people that end up paying are the employees who have dedicated their life to the success of the business. They're not getting a piece of the action. They're getting punted. So, that wasn't my middle finger, by the way. All right. Well, here's our last article for tonight. It's over in ohmTown Daily, which is, again, the name of this show. U.S. military space plane blasts off on secretive mission expected to last years. So the oddest thing about this space plane, back in
I thought it was weird that we had the weather balloon and the space plane in the same round of news.
Maybe it's going to drift and do meteorological study over China. So Marcia Dunn, aerospace writer for AP, I published this over at abcnews.go.com. The U.S. military has launched its secret space plane on another mission that's expected to last at least a couple of years. So
wait,
this thing is
another mission.
Hey, you caught that, did you? Yeah, another mission. I remember hearing about this space plane earlier this year. Didn't know that it had already launched. I thought that it was going to be launched in coming months.
I thought so too. I thought we had some article about it.
But apparently this bird's been out there floating around. What's really interesting about this is this looks like the old school space shuttles, which haven't launched into space since 2011, which I didn't even realize.
It does look like those, right?
Yep. Atlantis was the last space plane that went out in 2011. 2011. Doesn't that seem not so long ago for a
I thought
shuttle?
It was farther back.
Me too.
Because I thought there was a long pause in the space program. Although I guess I don't remember when they restarted it up.
Yeah, Atlantis was the last one, and they deactivated all of it. And then everything paused, and then we ended up with SpaceX and other competitors, but SpaceX is basically NASA, which really sucks because it's privately owned, but it's all funded by taxpayer dollars. So, yeah. Back to the Hershey. No, just kidding. Anyway, So this little thing is zipping around out there. I think that I have a VHS tape that talks about these X-37B space plane from like the early 80s.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, like previous missions, the reusable plane resembling a mini space shuttle carried classified experiments. There's no one on board. The space plane took off aboard SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket from NASA's Kennedy Space Center at night, more than 2 weeks late because of technical issues. It's a whole lot better than the rocket that they were gonna use, because that hot mess led to every other shuttle disaster.
Yes.
Anyway, it's logged more than 10 years in orbit since its debut in 2010, the X-37B. So it's actually been out there for 13 years.
Interesting.
Pretty amazing. And it says it's logged more than 10 years in orbit out of 13 years. It's been in orbit for 10 of its 13 years of existence.
Well, I guess that's why nobody's really seen it, right? Because it's not hanging out at the space centers, it's orbiting.
I like saying this name. I know how to pronounce it properly, but I'm not going to. Built by Boeing, the X-37B resembles NASA's retired space shuttles, but they're just 1/4 the size at 29 feet. No astronauts are needed. The X-37B is an autonomous landing system. They said, I think they've said that several times, that it looks like a space shuttle, like resembling a mini space shuttle, resembling a mini space shuttle. All right. Oh God, then they say it again.
Well,
Whatever.
I mean, they don't have a lot of information on this, so they gotta fill up the article.
Yeah, I suppose so. That's what they do in television, to stretch.
Right, like keep talking.
Keep talking. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. Space Force officials would not say how long this orbital test
potato?
vehicle exactly would remain aloft, or what's on board, other than a NASA experiment to gauge the effects of radiation on materials. There's people up there. Like Soylent.
Oh no.
It's made of people. Or those little gel cubes, the little jelly cubes from the sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You know, Snowpiercer.
Oh, Snowpiercer. Yeah.
Yeah. Not Snowpiercer. That's the one where they make.
That's the knockoff.
That's the one where somebody fabricates bags out of snow, and people have to buy them every summer because they melt. All right. Anyway, looks like a cool little gadget. I'm curious about what experiments, and why would they need to be secret? I can only say one answer in regards to that: aliens. Why would you need a secret?
Aliens are orbiting, or are they picking up aliens, or?
We're doing radiation research so that we can be in space long enough to defend against aliens. Bring the battle to them.
Oh.
Yep. That and AI. Anyway, I love a good conspiracy. So let's get back into the party bus, drive all the way back down Main Street. Should I risk hitting refresh?
Sure.
Who needs to promote this? That's fine. Oh, look. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a new article, but we have in the back catalog.
Yes, we have one.
An article that's going to talk about this, so we'll end up talking about this probably tomorrow a couple of times. Dangerous waves hitting California coastline. I think these are referred to as rogue waves, where they go.
Yeah, I saw a video of one today from an ohmTown article.
Yeah, I haven't read any of the articles. I only know of the headlines. I think I actually selected one of the headlines. So it'll be actually pretty interesting to talk about this. At any rate, off we go. I am Mayor Watt. That is ohmTown.com, and up there is the visualizer for the sentient AI that keeps me out of trouble. Sometimes a couple of seconds too late.
Good night, hometown citizens. Only 2 more days until 2024. We will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for the regularly scheduled show, but we will see you earlier for some of the makeup shows from December.
True. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to step on your lines, even though we don't have any lines. Oh, I got an error message from the sentient AI. Now I'm in trouble. You know what? You can be mayor. I'll see y'all later.